Medium Nicole here. Welcome back to Empower Your Soul. I don't even know if I want to post this, but I probably will because I keep trying to record a different episode and it's just not working. And I don't think that's what I'm supposed to talk about. But this has been a topic that has been in my head probably for the last 2 weeks or so. And it's a little sensitive and it's a little personal. And I'm not sure that I want to fully talk about this on the podcast, but I think it's probably important to share. So here we go. Let's talk about my drinking. Do I have your attention yet? Let me back it up for a minute because this is going to be the story to how I think I just accidentally quit alcohol for good. Maybe not for good, but at least for most of it. But let me go there because I am somebody who, oh God, I'm Irish, I'm Polish, I'm German, I'm Italian, I'm French. Like I am all of the European countries that have delicious beverages. Okay, everybody, delicious alcoholic beverages. And so for me, drinking has been my vice. Okay, I don't do anything else. Drinking has been my vice. And I have been drinking since definitely under the age that I should have been drinking, right? And I have always been surrounded by alcohol my whole life. My grandmother is an alcoholic, right? My father probably also, I love him, but also a little bit of an alcoholic too, right? And I've surrounded myself with alcohol my entire life. This is normal for me. Have I quit before? Yes, I have. I have gone through stints where I quit alcohol for, a couple years. So the idea of alcohol in me has always, I'm going to say, been very tumultuous. And I think my friend said it best, and I'm going to butcher the way that she said it, but when you grow up with alcoholics, you either are an alcoholic yourself or you abstain. And I have been oscillating between the two. And I'm not saying that I was an alcoholic, but I enjoyed my beverages, but I've been oscillating between the two for since I've had kids, probably for 10 years now, because if I'm totally honest with you, I don't really enjoy alcohol. I like the way that it makes me feel. I like the way that it really takes the pressure off. I can tell you that after a long day in my corporate job, you bet your ass I'd be sitting down with a glass of red and I could just literally feel the stress go from my body. So I essentially used it as my medication. Do I have any other medication? No. But I used it as a coping mechanism for what's going on in my life. And I think that ancestrally, that's true with all of my family as well. We all used it as a coping mechanism for everything because life is not easy here, right? So it has been many years of me debating quitting, not quitting. I'm going to be honest, probably a couple binge drinking opportunities, right? Like quitting. And so it's just been this very tumultuous thing with me. And I've always been very standoffish about alcohol because I know it's not good for me. I know it's literal poison for my body. But then I have other people that tell me oh, it's part of Mother Earth, right? It's part of Mother Earth. You're drinking Mother Earth. And I've had other people tell me it's okay if you drink as long as you're drinking with high vibes, like you're drinking to celebrate and you're not drinking to cope. And so it has been in my mind, this constant struggle, okay? Even though on paper, I'm fine. You could tell me I needed to quit tomorrow and I could quit tomorrow. So not technically an alcoholic, but there's definitely something with this narrative with alcohol with me personally that's been a part of my journey. And this might be more ancestral, right? Because I come from long lines of alcoholics, right? But what is so interesting for me, and this is the part I don't want to talk. I don't want to put my bones on display here. Everyone's got skeleton in their closet, and I really don't like talking about the skeletons in my closet. I don't like being vulnerable. Who does? But I digress. But what has been so interesting for me is how this literally changed in one night for me. And it was the wildest night in the most and I think this is the wonder of working with spirit is I can't even put into words the experience that I went through, but let's talk about it. And I'll try to put what I can into words about this because, here we go. Here's my little infantile Nicole thing. This is my youth coming out right here. When I was in my 20s and when I first purchased the house that I'm currently sitting in, this is out in the boonies. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There are no bars. Like there's nothing around here. So my husband and I would drink. We would watch drinking show games and drink. Like that's what we would do, right? Most of my 20s was spent, my pre-kid time was spent drinking, right? Like weekends would drink, nights I drank, right? Like this just, I feel like that's normal. And have you seen the breweries with all the with all like the kid playgrounds, right? Like drinking is like a national pastime here. So that's how I would spend my weekends out here in the sticks. Is that we would watch a drinking show called Three Sheets. And for those of you that are unaware, or it was not your demographic or part of your time period, I believe it was a show on Comedy Central, and it was Zane Lamprey, who's a comedian who would travel around the world drinking. And he would drink in all the different countries, and it was fun because it combined our love of drinking and travel. So he would go to all these different countries, learn about all these different drinking cultures, drink the local beverages, learn the local hangover cure, and it was just really fun. I mean, when I say we love this show, we love this show. We would have parties around this show, so we would have people like bring beverages from different countries, just like Zane did, and like celebrate, right? Like, because this was what we did when we were dumb and young, right? So it has been many years since I last watched this show, but then I found out that Zane Lamprey was coming. He's doing a tour right now, and he's been on a couple of other shows. I haven't seen them because I've aged out of the drinking shows with kids, right? But he's been on a couple of other shows, I think on Amazon Prime and some other ones too. But he has a tour right now where he's going to all of the breweries and essentially doing like a drinking comedy show. And little old me, who's 40 now, I'm 40, was so fucking excited to see my 20 year ago idol at a local, like he was 15 minutes away from me out here in the sticks. And I was like, I have to go. So I called in the babysitter, called in my brother-in-law because he loved that show too. And my husband, my brother-in-law, and I went to this show to go see like this idol from when I was, young and stupid. Now I'm just old and stupid. So I went to go to the show, and I bought VIP tickets because I'm old and I want to, it was not assigned seating. So I was like, I want a good seat. I'm going to go pay the extra money for the VIP tickets and get in a little bit early and not have to fight in line to get my drink and my food and everything like that. So we went a little bit early, and part of the VIP experience was essentially 30 minutes of drinking games with Zane Lamprey, which like, again, like little me was so excited for like when I say little me, like 20-year-old me was so excited for this, that I get to drink with my idol that I watched drink on the screen for so long. Is this ridiculous? Is this episode ridiculous yet? But I would watch him, and when I got there, it was so cool. Like it was like going back in time. But actually, I have to rewind because the entire night felt oddly like 20 years ago. So when I tapped into, before I got to the show, after the kids got picked up, Spirit was like, go to this restaurant in town for dinner. And I'm like, okay. And I could see in my head I was going to be sitting like in the bar area. And I'm like, okay, cool. I like went online, checked reservations. There weren't any reservations. I was like, all right, we'll just go and wing it. And of course, when we got there, we sat in the seat that we first sat in at the same exact restaurant when we bought this house almost 20 years ago. Not even a word of lie. This is like a 20-year cycle. So they sit us in the room at the first. I can remember the first thing I ever ate there was it was a butternut squash gnocchi with a butter sage sauce. Like I can tell you exactly what I ordered that night, and I'm pretty sure the same fucking thing was on the menu that night. And so they sat us down, and it was the same seat that I sat in 20 years ago. And it was like the same thing on the menu. I didn't order it. It wasn't very good, I'm going to be honest with you. But it was just felt so strange to be like, there's so many fucking parallels to old us right now. And so that was kind of weird. And then we went to the show, and again, we started the night doing drinking games with my drinking idol, right? So like I got called out twice in the 30 minutes to chug a beer with him. So yeah, I'm a champ. I'm good at chugging my beers. So I chugged my beer with Zane Lamprey which was really fun. And then I was in a flip cup game because no one else would volunteer. And he pointed at me and he's like, "How about you?" And I was like, "Okay, sure. I don't mind." And so I got kind of picked twice to participate in a drinking game that had like 30 people there. There were 30 people there. Why was I picked twice? So, so that's how the night went, right? And it was hilarious. We had a really good time. I didn't drink too much because I was driving, right? So it's like I drank at the beginning, but then I didn't. I think I had 2 beers there, like 2 beers, and then I drove home and we like put the show on for like old time's sake, and I had another beer. So you're talking about 3 beers over the course of the night, like totally normal. Okay, I know it's probably a little more than most people drink, but for me, it's not bad. That's not bad. So, so I see. I'm fearing judgment. Do you hear that in my voice? I'm fearing your judgment. I'm fearing what are you going to think about me? But that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is the fact that when I went to bed, I had this energy after I went to bed that this was the end of a cycle. And I can't even put into words what that felt like, because all night long, all night till the very morning when I woke up with a hangover, which doesn't make sense because I had 3 beers. Not for me. I can easily do 6. Let's just put it that way, without a hangover. So 3, we're going to get there in a second. But I went all night, half in and out of sleep, all night feeling this was the end of my drinking. All night. And I can't even explain the energy to you. I can't explain it to you because all night long, it was like I was clearing out energy from drinking, from 20, 30 years of drinking. Not really 30, but clearing out this energy of drinking and needing alcohol and needing to drink, and like clearing out this desire. And so all night long, while I was sleeping, while I was half awake, I could feel this energy moving out of me. And when I woke up the next morning, that energy was gone. And I couldn't feel the energetically when I was like in my 3D state. I couldn't feel that transitory feeling anymore because it felt transitory all night long. It felt like this moving, this clearing out of energy. But then when I woke up, I had a massive fucking hangover, which again, not typical for me. And I was so like energetically low, and like, it felt like a really, really bad hangover, and I couldn't recover all day long. I couldn't recover. And it was so interesting to me because it was like, it felt like I was like rebounding from the flu. That's the only way I can really describe it. I wasn't like, but it was all inside. Let's just put it that way. There was no outward symptoms. Let's put it that way. But it was just like an energetic clear out in every sense of the word, because it's like it came out through my pores. It came out everywhere. And again, like I said, I'm having trouble putting this into words, but the hangover was so much worse than it should have been. I spent all night feeling like this energy was leaving me, and in my head saying, "You're done with this, you're done with this, you're done with this." And then me waking up the next day, like every other hangover, being like, "Oh, that sucked. I guess I'll have some toast and some coffee this morning," right? And after that was processed, and I don't think it was a hangover. Do you? I don't think I feel like this was like the energetic rebound of clearing out all that energy. And it wasn't that it was an actual hangover. It was like an energetic hangover from removing all of that. And do you know what's happened since? I feel zero desire to drink alcohol. Like zero fucking desire. Like when I say zero desire, I mean there's no pull anymore. There's no tie anymore. Those of you that like drink or do other vices, like there's that constant pull, that constant tug to want to do that. And it's not that I can't say no to it, but there is that constant tug, right? That tug is gone, like completely shut out, gone. What the fuck happened? I'm just like, it's just like, what, like, I don't even know. Like I'm trying to describe what I'm doing on the camera, but it's like washing your hands of it and it's gone. And this must be what it's like on the other side when you transition into the spirit world, because it's like as soon as that energy hangover was done, I went up. right? And it's just like now I'm above it and I'm looking down like I'm not doing that again. It was a clearing out of energy that no longer served me, that was not good for me and who I am. So that was weird. And it's been 2 weeks. And I've had, for someone who's been drinking for, God, how long? 25 years? Like literally 25 years on and off, couple of quits here and there, but it was painful quit. It was not an easy quit. It was a holy shit, this is the worst thing ever, but I know I have to do with this kind of quit. But for someone like me that is literally ingrained in my ancestors, in my DNA, right? Like for it to be gone overnight, what else can you do, Spirit? Let's do this. Right? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, I haven't really said it to anybody. I told my husband I'm done. I'm done drinking. I told my friend I'm done drinking, and people hear me say it all the time. So they're like, okay, cool, that's fine. So no one's really thinking anything of it. And then I told my friend Rachel, the good witch in the Northeast, and she's like, yeah, that was the end of your cycle. You're done. You don't need it anymore. You've ascended above it. You don't need that coping mechanism anymore because you know how to cope now. So you don't need it. So that was very validating. And then last night at my mediumship practice circle at the mediumship mastermind, I was practicing with a woman there. I'm not going to name names because I don't like doing that. But she essentially called it out. And she's like, what happened with the drinking? And I said, oh, I quit. And she's like, don't test it. But she immediately picked up on the energy of me quitting alcohol, or me, I'm going to say liking wine a little bit too much. And she kept like dancing around it. And then I finally told her, I'm like, I quit it. I said, I can't even describe it, but I quit it. And I'm pretty sure this is for good. Like, I think this is done now. And she's like, your ancestors, they're telling you don't test it. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? Now I kind of want to test it just to see that, but I won't. But isn't that interesting how like it was validated additionally after the fact with someone who doesn't know my story at all. So yeah, that is my story about how I think I quit alcohol in one day. And now I'm wondering what else I can do. What else can we do? Can I help you clear out your toxic energy and things? Now this is going to be my test. Now that I know it's possible, because I think that's the first thing with this work is you need to know that it's possible, right? Now that I have been through it and I know that it's possible to literally resolve addictions overnight like this, now I got to test it. Anyone want to be my test subject? Just seriously. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, that's my wild and crazy story about how I'm pretty sure I quit alcohol within 24 hours. No, within overnight. Isn't that wild? All right. If you heard this podcast, that means I posted it. And if you heard it, please know that this was excruciating to talk about and like go through and talk about. So if you have feedback on this, I would love to hear it to make sure that you're still following me. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.